What is going on, everybody? Josh here from Wash Away Window Cleaning, the real Catalano. Today's video, I want to just tell you guys a story, essentially, about how I got started and how I landed my first big job. So, I landed my first big job about 3 months ago. I was about 2 months into my wash away business endeavors. Just had started out. I formulated the company in March, and by June, I had landed my first big contract. And I just recently, well, actually by May, I had landed my first big contract in May, started it in June, and just now am finishing it up. So now I have to start getting back out there and attacking the game again to get more, bigger, and better jobs and to keep pushing forward. But essentially, the biggest thing you got to be able to do when you're starting a business is be brave. So being brave is very important because especially a job like this where you're a cleaning service, so we do window cleaning, power washing, and awning cleaning, and we do it commercial and residential. So you got to put your foot out there. You got to be able to talk to people. You got to be able to go door to door. That's the biggest thing. So that was how I landed my first big job. Was I didn't see it coming either. It came out of nowhere. It was like opportunity found me kind of thing. I got very lucky, and I'm very grateful for that. And now it's time to keep pressing that luck and keep getting out there to make sure that I can continue this business and make it grow and progress. So one day I was down on my luck. I was just starting this business out. I was very scared, not sure where my next meal was going to come from, kind of thing. You guys know how it goes when you're starting one of these businesses. It's very scary, and you need to be able to tread carefully, and you need to be able to make sure all your ducks are in a row, because if you are taking care of a family, see, I was lucky. I'm a single man, 27 years old. I have my own house. I can start my business from here. I don't have to pay for anybody else. I'm not taking care of anyone else. It's just me. So the great thing about that is start your business young. I wish I would have started a few years earlier, but hey, better late than never. And it's still pretty early for me anyway. But I don't have to feed any more mouths. And that's kind of the biggest thing, is how much risk are you willing to take on when you're starting this business? So, or any kind of business for that matter. You want to make sure that your risk isn't too high, because if you got to if you got to feed other people, taking on a business adventure is a very, very high risk. Whereas for me, it's like I can kind of afford to not eat for a few days if it comes down to that. Now, it only came down to that a few times, but we're getting back out there, we're getting after it, and we're building a better business from being able to work through that grind. Essentially, what I did was I went door to door, storefront to storefront, and was just walking into storefronts that I saw were dirty windows. Even if they weren't dirty windows, I would go, get in my car, drive to a shopping center, and then just start walking down the shopping center, hitting every storefront, door to door to door to door to door. And boy, does that suck. Like, talk about learning how to get rejected efficiently. It's not fun. So, one day I was doing a shopping center and I walked into an REI, and I was asking, hey, does anyone clean your windows? Give them my whole spiel, yada, yada, yada. And they were like, no, our corporate handles that. Do you want to talk to the corporate to see if they would be willing to work with you? And I said, yeah, great. Is there somebody's phone number I can call? And so, yeah, the manager at REI decided to give me the property manager's phone number. And so as soon as I got that phone number, I walked right back out to my car. I made the phone call. I gave my spiel, and they decided to give me the opportunity. And that's pretty much how I landed the first big job. So the takeaway from that is door to door to door helps you get your foot in the door, but also it made me learn a very valuable lesson, that the people most of the time at the shopping center or in the storefront can only do so much for you. If you want to get one of the bigger paying jobs, you need to talk to somebody who's dealing out more money, or talking like who deals with more scope. So a property manager who deals with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of square feet of property, you're talking to one person. You're putting the same amount of effort in as if you were to walk into a shopping center or a storefront like a small restaurant and be like, hey, I'll clean your windows for $40, versus I made the same amount of effort. I gave the same stick, the same spiel to one property manager over the phone, and managed to land thousands of dollars worth of work, versus doing the same amount of spiel giving and all of that fun stuff that nobody likes to do unless you're crazy good at sales. And I'm not crazy good at sales. I don't quit. That's my shtick, is I don't give up. I don't quit. I just keep pushing forward. I'm not the best salesman. I'm not the best talker, but I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it, and I know how to get things done. So property managers, that's the takeaway from this. That's how you land your first big job as a business, as a small business, especially if you're a company that does cleaning services like mine. I'm going to take a quick sip. So that's how I landed my first big job, was walking door to door, doing the hard work, and then kind of stumbling across, hey, here's a property manager, call them. So now my new tactic is going online, going on Yelp, or going on like Google, and just searching up property managers in my area. And then I email them, I call them, I annoy them until they respond to me. Because you got to be annoying as a salesperson, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. If you become too soft, you're going to be sitting here waiting all day. You really got to attack. And even I struggle with that still now. And I'm not anywhere to this level of success that I want to be, but I'm getting there, and I just need to keep moving forward. So if you want to land bigger contract jobs, make sure you have all your ducks in a row, and make sure you find the property managers. So if you want to skip the door-to-door stuff because you're doing the same amount of work for a $20 clean that you could be doing for a $2,000 clean, same amount of sale work, so that's the game. The game is, how much effort can you put in for the biggest amount possible? So it's like, if I have to put the same amount of effort in to land a $20 job as I do to land a $2,000 job, I'm going to do the same work, and I'm going to try and figure out how to do it for the $2,000 job. So that's the takeaway you should be getting from this video is, if you want to skip that step. Door to door, it helps you become numb to rejection, so that's a good skill to build. But if you want to skip that step and go ahead and try to find property managers in your area that are willing to work with you, then that's the name of the game to land bigger jobs. And then from there, those people who not only own a bunch of shopping centers or a bunch of storefronts or are managing a bunch of those things, now you're putting your name, your brand, your face in front of a whole shopping center at once instead of just one clean. And so that ends up being a little bit more efficient, because then when you're cleaning the outside of the storefront's windows because you're contracted by the property manager to do so, they might come outside and be like, hey, what are you doing? And you're like, oh no, don't worry about it. This is contracted with the property manager. You're not paying for anything. So just enjoy the clean windows. And they'll be like, oh wow, so while you're here, could you possibly do my inside? And then you go, oh wow, yeah. And then all right, after you clean the inside of their windows, you go, okay, I'll see you in a month, or I'll see you in 2 weeks. And they go, wait, what? And then you go, yeah, we'll put you on the schedule. It'll be great. And so you can land stuff like that. Or you, people come outside, or they're walking in and out of like a restaurant that you're cleaning in front of, and they're like, hey, do you do residential windows? Yes, we do residential. Here's my card. Give us a call. We'll come out and give you a free estimate. And stuff like that. So it builds from there. You got to put your name out there. You got to be everywhere. You got to put your name out in as many places as possible, doing as much advertising as you can that your budget will allow, and to keep just pushing forward. So that is how I landed my first big job, was door-to-door sales, finding the property manager and calling them and making the sale to them instead of making the sale to the storefront itself, because the storefront itself only deals with a certain amount, whereas a property manager deals with the whole scope. So the one thing I will say about property managers is that when they find someone they really like, they tend to stick with them. So timing is everything. probably want to do it in the beginning of the season. So if you're at like March or April, that's when you should be hammering out calls. I mean, always give it your best shot and try, no matter what season it is. But probably the best time is going to be in the spring, because that's when they're trying to figure out their budget for the season for all of their properties and stuff like that. So that's the takeaway you guys should get from this, is just essentially door to door, make yourself numb, and then once you figure out who the property managers are and what area you want to be working in, you can go from there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something from this video. In my next video, I'm going to try and show you guys the steps I took to creating my small business and how you can make these same steps for your small business to start out with too, because I know that's very important. A lot of people get caught up on the details in the beginning. They try to do too many things at once. They're like, oh man, I need to be here, I need to be there, I need to be everywhere. And it's like, no, you don't. You just got to be patient, take small steps at a time, and just pace yourself, because this is a marathon, this is not a sprint. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.